Hi guys, my name is Amy Cho. I'm a golf professional. Today we're going to talk about the long iron versus hybrid and find out exactly which one you should be using. Ta-da! Subscribe, like, and comment down below how your golf game is going. And now, back to the golf lesson. Let's take a look at the long iron first. If you take a look on the bottom, the sole is nice and narrow and the club head is small. The shaft is a lot longer than a 7 iron and it requires precise ball contact at impact as well as a pretty fast club head speed in order for you to hit the long irons well. A good thing about using the long irons is the ball control. You're able to, throw darts at the flags and shape shots. These are obviously applying for those who are more advanced golfers. Let's take a look at the hybrid now. I have a 4 hybrid here. As you can see, the sole is nice and wide, and you can tell on the bottom here, the leading edge is nice and round, it's sticking out more so than a long iron. So this is going to help you to hit through like thick roughs easier than a long iron. And also the wide sole on the bottom makes it really easy to catch the golf ball, even if you just kind of do like brushing motion through the ball. Because of the wide sole, it's going to allow you to catch that golf ball a lot easier than a long iron. One downside, I would say, is the lack of control of the ball flight. So you won't be able to shape shots as nicely with this guy compared to how you would with a longer iron. So the accuracy is a little bit lower, but nowadays technology has advanced so much. They're making these a lot more consistent. They're performing better. That's why a lot of PGA Tour players are using the hybrids more nowadays. All right, so let's go into like the setup and take a look at the difference. If you set up to the golf ball, actually everything is very similar. The ball position is like a ball or two inside the left heel. Same thing with the hybrid. And since they're about the same length, if you look from the down the line view, compared to a 7 iron, you would stand a lot taller with the long iron. Same thing with the hybrid. So the setup angle is very similar. The only difference I would say is with the irons, I would pay attention to these two things. Number one is the precise contact at impact. So I'm spending a lot of energy really looking at where I hit on the face. And then because it's actually very similar looking as a 7 iron, sometimes your body gets confused and puts on a 7 iron swing, which is no good because the 7 iron swing you turn a lot smaller, which means if you do the same thing with the long iron, you're going to most likely top it and hit miss shots. So the second thing I think about is turning the shoulders a lot more in the backswing and follow through. So those two things are what I pay attention to for the longer clubs, and they work like a charm every single time. For the hybrids, because this is it looks more like a fairway wood, body kind of reacts and puts on a fairway wood swing, which is nice and big rotation. So I'm not worried about turning big. All I'm worried about is, actually I'm not worried about much with this guy. Because of the roundness on the bottom of the sole here, the leading edge, this is going to make a little bit more of a divot compared to a long iron. So I only focus on making a divot with this guy. So it's a lot easier to make contact with this. I wanted to show you this cool little club I have in my bag. Actually, this is called the UF, Utility Fairway. And the cool thing about this is that it's a lot longer than a regular hybrid in length. What happened was I was getting fitted for these clubs, and basically how usually the fitting goes is that you get your yardages for your irons. So my 5 iron is the longest one in the bag, and it was going average 175 yards. And then you go up to like the widths. My 3 wood was about 210, 215, and then the 5 wood was about 200, 195. So all I needed was to find a gap between a 5 wood and the 5 iron. I needed a 185 yard club, and I tried their 4 hybrid, and it was going 180. So I was like, oh no, what do I do? But they had this UF line, And this 4 hybrid actually goes 185, which worked out perfect, right? So I've never used a hybrid with the longer shaft before, but you know, that's what I need to have in my bag, so I'm happy with it. So it's longer in length, but same shape head as a regular hybrid. That's probably why it's called a UF, utility fairway. So it's right in between the two. I thought this was very interesting, so I wanted to share it with you guys. So today we talked about the difference between hybrid and irons. I would suggest those of you who don't have the most consistent ball contact at impact to try using the hybrids more. And for those of you who don't have the fastest club head speed, recommend the hybrid. And for those of you who are more advanced players that are pretty good ball strikers, like to shape shots, I would suggest you use the long irons. Oh, and another tip on the long irons is that if you want to look cool, meaning if you want to look like a great player, stick a long iron in your bag and everyone's going to be impressed that you hit with that butter knife looking thing. I hope you're able to follow along. Comment down below which you prefer and why, and we'll talk more about that. Thanks for watching. See you in the next lesson. If you want to learn more about Coredex, please come to mpswing.com and you can watch all the Coredex lessons there. If you have more questions, please come to my Ask Aimee section. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.